Hello, welcome to a visit with Nana and Papa. Today it's just Nana, me, and I thought I would do a video about my completed objects that I wear all the time. I may try also to put video here on this side with me trying them on. So we'll see how that works. Don't know if I can manage it, but I'll try. But what I wanted to go over is all the sweaters that I have in my closet that I've made over the past few years, however many it's been, and talk about what I like, what I don't, what I would do differently. Try to talk about the yarn if I remember what yarn it is. Yeah, and just kind of, so we're going to go through all of them. The first set we'll go through are all of my items that I wear in the summer. And yes, these are things I wear here in Austin, well, not in Austin, I'm in Killeen, but in Central Texas. It's the items I can wear in the heat. And then as we go through, I'll also let you know if it's something that I wear all the time or just some of the time. If it's a favorite, why is it a favorite, etc. Also let you know about where, like, does it pill? Does it have my hair? Everything has my hair. But yeah, DNA. Leave it in any project I make. Anyway, we'll just get started, and hopefully this may be of use to someone. I am currently not knitting. My arm was really hurting 3-4 days ago, and I realized that I just need a break. So I'm not knitting at all. I don't know when I'm going to pick up the needles again, but definitely not until my arm and my hand are rested. So let's get started. We'll start with the one I'm wearing. This is a pattern by Samba Knits. It is called the V Delicious Crop. It is somewhat cropped, but not as cropped, I think, as the pattern has you make it. Again, I'll try to put I have very, very short sleeves on this. This is what it had originally, sleeves to here, and I did surgery and cut it off and then added, because it was just, it's such a lightweight garment, and by that I mean it feels like you're wearing air. I mean, it's like it's hardly even there, and yet the sleeves kind of just made it feel like almost too warm. So I cut the sleeves off and then redid the ribbing, and that's relatively recent that I did that. But even before that, I wore it quite a bit. But since I've done that, I wear it way more. It's one of my absolute favorite tops to wear in the summer. The yarn is Holst Garn Super Soft. I'm pretty sure the color is Sweet Pea, but it's kind of a pink, but I don't know if you can tell. Let me see. Not really. But the yarn definitely does not have a single shade. There's a whole bunch of little colors happening in it. And I really like that. It's kind of pink. It's kind of purple. It's kind of got a brown, I don't know. It's just really nice. This has made me realize that I really like having solid colors as tops, because I have a lot of skirts and pants that are prints. So being a solid allows me to wear it with all kinds of different ways. When it's a print or a variegated yarn or whatever, I don't wear it as often for the most part. This does not tend to pill. It I don't know how to describe this yarn. It it holds up. It lasts and lasts and lasts and lasts. Um, it's knit. I've knit it at a very loose gauge. I want to say 22 stitches to 4 inches maybe, with the whole super soft. Anyway, I wear it all the time, and it isn't my number one worn top at home, but I do wear it a lot. Okay, next. This top, I'm pretty sure that this started from a pattern by Joji, but I don't remember the name of the pattern. But I think I got maybe to right here and just completely stopped following the pattern. I'm not entirely certain. It could be a different pattern. I don't know. But whatever it is, I stopped following the pattern. It is massively oversized. It is not really, for me, not cropped. The yarn I used is all the same colorway, but the skeins were not all the same shade. So I took them and I went from the very lightest shade at the top and I went into the darkest at the very bottom. This is mohair held with slub, and see if we can. So I think you can see the slub yarn in that. The color is just amazing to me. But because even though it's a variegated color, it's really a neutral to me. I want to say it's denim something. I want to say, but it's definitely Chelsea Luxe, and it's in her duets that have the slub and the mohair, or at least at the time it was slub and mohair. And Chelsea Luxe yarns, Christina. This is one of my earliest sweaters. Not my first sweater, but very early on. And although it's mohair and slub, I wear this at home all the time. This is probably my most worn garment. And I don't know if it's the slub. I don't know if it's just how it was made. I don't know if it's the garment, but it does not pill in the way that I would think it. Well, you'll see later. But this has held up. I wear it all the time. It's super oversized, and I think because the mohair is kind of light and then the slub itself kind of airy, just it's not nearly as heavy as a all over fingering weight. Definitely not as heavy as the all over some of the others. And I have other yarns that are silk mohair, but I can't wear them in the heat, and I don't know what the difference is. But so that's the second one. I'm trying to figure out where to put these so that they're not in the way. The next one is a very recent finish, and I'm not certain that I won't add to it. I'm thinking I might add a crocheted border around the neck. I don't want to add much border to the neck because I don't want it too tight. And it is a little wrinkled from sitting on the cabinet, but I wear this quite a bit. They're not the same front and back. They are once you split for sleeves, because then it became working in the round, but the individual parts of the front and the back. I did not add the long sleeves. I did not put the color work or the mosaic into the sleeves. This is the Trove sweater. It I messed up because of my gauge was off and it's smaller than it should have been for my size because it's supposed to be a drop shoulder and it's barely a drop shoulder, which is why I did add some short row to the sleeves. Not enough clearly, but I did add a small amount of short rows. It does fit me. Hopefully you'll be able to see. The yarn I used in this brown is Onling, I think number 20. This is not, and it's been washed. This to me is soft. This brown is not. Would I purchase the Onling again? Probably not. It's denser than the Holst, which in some ways is better. Like you can use it at a larger gauge maybe than the Holst without looking odd, maybe. But would I use it? No. Just it's not soft enough for me. I'm not a fan. But hey, you don't know till you know. The rest of the color work though is all Holst Super Soft. And will I use Holst again over and over and over and over? Since we're on a Holst kick, I will go ahead and talk about this one. Now, this one has been modified recently, but this is my first colorwork sweater. Things I wish I'd done different in this sweater is here. You'll see this brown, this purple, and this pink. I don't feel I should have put in this sweater. They're too dark. The rest of the colors aren't bad, but they're just too dark. And so I wish that I had done that part differently. See, my hair's everywhere. This is the Laurel sweater. And it's supposed to be long sleeve. If you want to make a colorwork sweater, I'll go into the modifications in a minute, but if you wish to make a colorwork sweater and you've not done colorwork, this is perfect. This sweater is absolutely perfect. The colorwork in it has no floats. There's literally not a single float, and it only uses, and it's easier to see here, it only uses this chart, and this chart. Now it's all in one chart, but that's the only chart that you use, is you repeat these and these are the same, but you repeat. You do this one going this way, this one going this way, and then this is in between. So it's very, very easy color work for the first time you do color work, and just by nature of doing it, if you work from here down and finish the sweater, especially if you add the color work and do full sleeves, you're guaranteed to be really proficient at color work by the time you finish the sweater. And even if there are mistakes in your color work, or if it's bunched or whatever, you've learned a lot, and the bunching or whatever, people are still gonna go, wow, that's amazing. Do you know what I mean? So the modifications I made. When I made the first one, I started with the ribbing and then started doing color work. And as time went by, because I wore still do wear, but even before, used to wear this all the time. And I wore it so much that the neck started stretching out. And then it started falling off my shoulders. And I was constantly having to pull it back up. So I made the decision to cut my neckband off. However, not now, but previously, this first colorwork section on the original sweater, I messed it up. So like it started out fine, but by the time I got to here, I got off, and so the rest of the colorwork all the way around, whatever. Anyway, it was janked up. It didn't look like arrows. It was janked up because I got off and I never fixed it. Now I don't know what happened, when it happened. It doesn't really matter, but it was janky. I figured since I was already cutting off the ribbing, the neckband, there was no reason why I couldn't go ahead and cut off the colorwork. So I cut off this much. When I cut that off, I was right here. And because I knew that it had stretched out, all the fabric had stretched out, I decided to add the yellow, add the white, and then add another repeat, purple and white, decreasing as I go up. And then do a final decrease. And then do short rows, decrease in short rows. And then I knit, I don't know, 8 rows, something like that. Folded it over and did a folded cuff instead of ribbing. And the reason I did the folded is because I feel that that gives kind of a seam there and makes it more difficult for this neckband to stretch out. Now this is knit at, and you can see here, a really loose gauge. Don't know, even in this color work, pretty loose gauge, because you can see me behind it. Yeah, there's my hair. But that makes this an incredibly lightweight garment. And even though it's at a loose gauge, you still don't see the other colors behind it. It doesn't look bad. And on me, you can't see that it's at that loose gauge. So it's like the perfect, not so loose that it's showing my bra or anything else, but so loose that it's very lightweight. So even though this has all over color work, this sweater weighs less than 200 grams. I wear this a lot. Now, the gray sweater, I think I wear it a lot at home in the air conditioning. I don't tend to wear that out of the house. So it gets more wear when I'm just at home. But if I'm leaving the house and going anywhere, this one and this one are my 2 most worn tops. Now, that'll probably change as I add more Holst garments or more non-superwash garments to my wardrobe. There was nothing wrong with this pattern, by the way. I just think because Holst is not a kind of yarn that has massive bounce to it, it is a yarn that wants to, I'm trying to think of the right word, it doesn't want to spring back, and it tends to kind of relax into whatever shape it wants to stay, and then it tends to work better in garments that have seams like this one, and have seams, where you're either picking up stitches and doing this, or you're seaming it in. it just tends to hold up better, tends to work better. So if when I make more garments with the Holst, I won't be choosing a circular yoke or a raglan or anything that doesn't have the structure. If I want to work in these formats, it's fine, just not with this yarn. And there's nothing wrong with that in any way. It's just me learning how fibers are different, and that the makeup of your yarn, not necessarily just the fibers in it, but how it's spun, how many plies are in it, does it have the bounce that you need, is it going to have that memory and come right back, and is it going to want to stretch out. Okay, so this is one of my sweaters. I still wear it from time to time, but I don't wear it in public. I love the color. I just wish that it had been more color fast. So this is the sweater, and I have no idea what pattern this originally was. Like, maybe even wasn't one. I think maybe I stole a lace pattern from somewhere and just did a circular yoke and then added the lace panel again at the bottom. But I don't know that it was an actual. I'll look in my Ravelry and see if I actually, because I don't remember using a pattern. That said, I only had one skein of this color of yarn, and I only had 2 skeins of this gray, or one, maybe one. And so I decided to combine them. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's pink throughout, but not solid. It's in, I don't know, it's in, like I said, I don't know that you guys can see it, but I can see it. And I'm like, there are parts of the sweater that are truly just gray and parts that are very pink. And they're pink because the yarn, whatever. Additionally, lots of pilling of this gray yarn. This actually may be the best spot to see. This is supposed to be gray, but it's not. It's pink. Anyway, and so I still wear it. I wear it at home. It's not super light weight. I should tell you the yarn. This is Hedgehog Fibers. I'm sure several of you are screaming what the color name is. I don't know Hedgehog Fibers enough to know the color name. This at the very bottom and around here, it was just leftovers, and I'm pretty sure it was a spun right round. I'm almost 100% positive it was a spun right round color. But anyhow, and then this gray was a undyed natural yarn from Hill Country Weavers in their own, whatever the heck their brand was of yarn. Again, I think I may wear that sweater twice a year, if that. I don't wear it outside. It's not that comfortable. Just, I think I pull it out when I just need some bright color, like just not feeling good, or the world is blah. And I love the color, so the color makes me happy. Another is this sweater. Now, this did not, I used a circular yoke pattern. The pattern that I used was based on, it is not the pattern, but it is based upon trying to think. It's in my brain, but it's not. Oh, Samba Knits. She has a sweater pattern for stripes that's DK weight. This is not DK weight. This is a sport weight yarn. It is non-superwash. It is one of my favorite yarns, but I cannot think of the name at the moment. Pause. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get the yarn. Okay, sorry about that. For you, it was a second. For me, it was not. This is Rerum Natura Ulysses. And I don't know if you can, it doesn't, I'm not even seeing where it says Rerum Natura, but I know that's the brand. I can't find it, but it's in the color caramel. Oh, it's at the very bottom of their label. So the Rerum Natura Ulysses. Based on this yarn, I kind of want to see if they have a lighter weight. This yarn is just delightful. It's so comfortably soft. It is made from merino, which is probably why, or it says it is. It says Lina Merinos Cardi, whatever that means, but what I know it means to me is very soft. They come in 50-gram balls. The 50-gram ball has 185 meters. So I'm thinking that's close to 200 yards. I don't know. Ziggy, how many yards is in 185 meters?
185 meters is about 202 yards.
200 yards. 202 to be precise. But hey, I was right. It does pill. And I don't care. So you can see there's quite a bit of pilling. Even though it pills, it's just so luxuriously soft that I don't mind. Now, the red is not this yarn. And what used to be white is not this yarn. The white is 100% Cormo. I don't have the brand name because it was, it was straight from a farm that had it milled. So I can't answer that. But it was 100% Cormo. And then the red, it was a non-superwash. I don't even remember the brand. The red bled and bled and bled and bled and bled. I think I ended up having to wash this garment at least 20 times so that it stopped bleeding. And you can, at least I can, maybe you guys can't. This red used to be red, like, not that, almost, sorry, like red. It's not, it's more rust now. Now, I don't hate rust, but they could have just given me the rust that didn't have all the bleeding. Like, I understand that there are dyers out there that say that yarns bleed. I get that. I understand that. But here's the thing, as a dyer, if the yarn's bleeding, it's because it still has excess dye in it. Take the time to get the excess dye out of the yarn, because if it's excess dye that's giving you that fantastic color, it's not going to stay for the person who's using it. Okay, I know. I'm going to have to insert. Yep, put meep. Maybe that'll help me remember to insert warning, unpopular opinions. But anyway, is this a dyer's fault? No, it's mine. Why is it my fault? Because I could have done a swatch with these colors, washed the swatch, and known that the red was going to do this and not ruin the entire sweater. Am I now trying to swatch and choose colors? Yes, with an exception. I don't swatch Holst and worry about washing it, because I have yet to have any of the Holst Super Soft bleed, and I have not had this stuff bleed in any way, shape, or form. So I may not if I'm putting, but I would have to be using this with this and not this with something else, because I don't want this ruined by something else. But anyway, like, even though this is sport weight, this is still pretty lightweight. I didn't, I talked about the pattern. So while I did use the I used the way in which the sweater is made from the pattern by Samba Knits, and that you'll see more. I've used this more than once. I didn't follow in the striping, and I intentionally just changed which stripe went when and how wide randomly. And how I did the random is, I'm really tired of knitting with that color, I'm going to get a different one. I'm really tired, I'm going to get a different one. And not worrying about what that different one was. The only exception to that is there was always a red and white in between the gray. And the gray almost looks brown now, but it's not. It never was a brown. It was a gray. But the red has kind of affected it. I don't wear that one all the time. I think I wear it more in the fall, in the early spring than I do, well, late fall, winter. Yeah. I feel like we have two seasons here. We have hotter than everything and cold. Well, not even cold, but cool. So I wear it when it's cool, but not freezing cold. That we have a couple of days of every year. This next one is a very popular pattern. I think it comes in different versions, but this is my anchor tee. I have done a lot of surgery on this. But the yarn I used is from Ted Knits UK, one of my absolute favorite dyers. I think that this yarn is just, it's called Seashell. And does this not look like seashell? And then in this pattern, you add the patterning to the yarn. Absolutely, see, it's perfect. It was too short in the original way that I made it, and I made it, I think, to pattern. Anyway, it was way too short. And so I was gonna cut off the ribbing and then realized that I had a couple yarn overs, and they were like, here's my split for sleeves, and they were like somewhere in this neck of the woods. So I cut it out, and or I cut it wherever that was, and then I cut it here, rip back all that yarn, and then re-knit all the way back down, and then added more yarn in a helical way while I was doing this with the last of what I had of this yarn. And I really like it. I do feel like the way in which this is made makes for a heavy, and the fact that it's super wash yarn. This sweater is like 260 grams, I think, 250, 260, maybe more. And when I compare that to this, which weighs maybe 105, I'm always going to grab this over this. That said, I have some really cute pants and stuff that this is a perfect match for. So I still wear it. It makes a great outfit, and the fit for that anchor tee is perfect. Here's the problem. If I were to make it in the holes, I think it would stretch out. It wouldn't hold its shape. It wouldn't come back. So maybe I could make it in this, and maybe it would be lighter. I don't know. I don't know. All right. This is one of my Vibes tees, and one of, because I made a lot of them. But this is one of my Vibes tees. And I ended up changing the stripe pattern on this one to be different than the Vibes itself, like completely different. And like, I don't even know what I was, but I do like it. I do wear it. Again, it's heavier because of the superwash, so it's not something I gravitate to all that much. I did change the hem to a folded hem. This was the first time I did a folded hem, and it is the reason in which I prefer a folded hem for most garments, because it adds a little bit of weight to the bottom of the sweater and it doesn't flip, unlike a lot of the ribbed sweaters that I have. The best part of this sweater is the yarn. This yarn is Grab Your Drink, inspired by Chevis of Chevy Row, or that's a Chevy Row podcast on YouTube. This was a yarn color that was come up by Bente of Arctic Crafts out of Norway, and she created the color as a custom color for Chevis. She did make some changes to it after she sent the yarn to Chevis, but I got my yarn literally in 3 different times, one skein at a time. So I definitely did not want to hold the yarn like at the same time, because I was worried that they would be dramatically different and not look that great right up to each other, and so I purposely did stripes. I'm pretty certain, but not like 100% certain, but I'm pretty certain that the blue and the brown are also Ted Knits UK. I would not be able to tell you the colors, but I'm 99%. I know for sure that the brown is, but I'm pretty certain that the blue is as well. Although, well, I still think it's from. They're definitely not from the U.S. That sweater was, I intentionally used yarn that was not from the U.S. as kind of a memento or whatever. Anyway, this sweater I wear outdoors a lot for multiple reasons. One, it kind of helps me find my people. Two, I'm very proud of it. And three, it's just so cool. This, oh, and this may be, because it's June, this might just have to be the picture. Yeah, maybe. This, I do not believe I used a specific pattern. I just did a circular yoke. I did the increases based on what I would need and as often as I needed them. It does have short rows. The way in which I did this pattern, I threw all of my scraps from other projects, other things I'd made, and I threw them all on the bed. And then I pulled out things that I felt I did not want, that just didn't go. And then left things that I might be able to work with. And then realized, wasn't looking for a rainbow, just wanted things I thought I could work with that kind of, yeah, they were kind of the same vibe, I guess. And then I realized that I almost had a rainbow. And so I just put them all in the order of a rainbow. These two, I wish they were more like these, in the speckled instead of more semi-solid, but I had to work with what I had. I did not have a red anywhere in my stuff, so I went with the pink. Again, this pink is from, I'll try to get all of them. The top color, I really, really have no idea who that's from. It's kind of a really dark purple with blue, and it's easier to see on the back. But I don't know who that yarn is from. Maybe like Mad Tosh or something, but I never did have a lot of that in my yarn, so I don't know. The pink for sure is I just said it earlier. It's the one from out east. I'll think of it. Or maybe you remember. It was in the other sweater. Anyway, this pink, and there's several of these in here, was a mini by something Vita Loco. Actually, I think both of these two are. And then this here is from, it's Carrot Cake, and it is also from Arctic Crafts. This pumpkin-y, I honestly don't know. This is a brown, and this brown was a single. It's the only single I've ever put into a sweater, and but I have no idea. And then this color was from a Barnyard Knits, I'm pretty certain. The yellow is from, you'll see it in another sweater, but this yellow is from Suburban Stitcher. This first one here is from Long Dog Yarns. And this green here is, I'm not entirely certain, but I want to say Hue Loco. And then this green, this darker green, I honestly can't remember. And then this green is the same single as this, and I do not know what the name of the company was. It was something that somebody gave me. This dark green is from Leading Men Fiber Arts. This is from Ted Knits UK. This is blue is definitely from Hue Loco. This also is from Hue Loco. This lighter blue, maybe Barnyard Knit, I don't know. This blue is definitely from Hedgehog Fibers. This blue was dyed by me. This purple, there's two of them there, two different purples. I honestly have no idea. And again, that same color at the bottom that was from the top, and I have no clue. But these are all scraps that all came from other sweaters, and I wear it a lot. I might cut out all those colors because you really don't care, do you? This one I am very proud of. This pattern is a great pattern. So if you want to make a summer tee, and you like to knit raglans, I think this is beautiful. And if you're not wanting to knit a raglan, the designer recently released another tee that is a different construction that's more like a set-in sleeve that I really want to make whenever I'm able to knit again. This is the Rocket Tee, and for the Rocket Tee, I did not dump out my scraps. Instead, I literally dug through everything in my every yarn I had, everything for specific colors to match. I'm hoping to put it here. I saw this picture, I think, because Microsoft put it as a screensaver. I honestly have no idea how or why I saw the photo, but as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my god, I need that. I need a sweater that has that in it. And so the picture is of a coral reef, and I used my yarn to try to capture the layers of the coral reef. I did not do color work to try to get the shapes or anything else, but I did try to get the colors of that reef from the what looks like grass and land and dirt to sand to the coral part to the water. And I love to wear this. It is one of my husband's favorite sweaters that I have made, or tops I've made. I will say that some of the yarns have peeled a little bit, but given how long I've had it, not that much. But everything in that sweater is superwash, and so I don't necessarily wear it that often. This next sweater is one of my favorite I've ever knit, but I've gained weight and it no longer fits well, so it does not get a lot of wear. The yarn I used was not the best choice for the sweater. The yarn is 80% superwash, 20% silk, and has paled significantly and lost the definition, I think, of the lace. And it wouldn't even be that it isn't that great of a lace definition because it's a speckled yarn. So if I had the opportunity, or when I have the opportunity, I would like to remake it. This pattern was the most fun I have ever had making any of the garments I've made. This was a test knit. It was test knit for Samba Knits. The pattern is called the Brahui. I'm probably butchering that, and if I am, Beatrice, I'm so sorry. I love this pattern. The back is just straight stockinette. The front has a lace panel. The width of the lace panel will change based on the size that you knit. I'm pretty certain. Like, the number of repeats is different depending on the size you knit, which makes sense because if you're really small, you don't want your lace to go from shoulder to shoulder, but if you're wider, you don't want to have lace that's this wide and have this much extra. So that's really smart. I thought it was creative as all get out. I may have added a repeat too. I'm not certain. Or two. I don't know. But I love it so much. I loved making it. I honestly don't remember who dyed this yarn. I do love the color. And if I ever lose weight and can fit in it again, I will keep wearing it. I will never get rid of it because it is heavier. I think that the silk content just is not super light compared to this by any means, but it is luxuriously soft. And I just had so much dang fun knitting it. So much fun knitting it. Alright, this last one, I don't wear it all. It doesn't fit me. It's way too small. It's way too cropped. I would probably be best suited to just frog this bad boy back out completely and use the yarn for something else. I just think it might just be in the best interest of everyone involved. But this, I can't even tell you what pattern it was supposed to be, what pattern it was. I don't know. I know that I added color blocks because I was worried about running out of yarn. I made it super cropped. I was gonna wear it over dresses. I could still wear it, like, it will, as far as the length goes. I'm not worried about that part because I have skirts and dresses that it would go over, but I literally can't get the arms are just way too small. I might still wear it. Not Barnyard Knits, not Hue Loco. It's the same exact yarn that we've been talking about. And why can't I? It's got the girl on the label. Anybody yelling it at me? Because I have some short sleeve tops that don't work so well in hot weather at all. In fact, they would probably be better off as long sleeve. However, I did not make them long sleeve and do not have the yarn necessarily to turn them into long sleeve. Hence, they are still short sleeve. This is a circular yoke, probably Love Note without the lace. I'm almost 100% certain this was a Love Note with no lace. Knit at a tighter gauge than the original Love Note, intentionally so. Which I don't understand at the moment because I'm like, girl, this thing is heavier than heck. The yarn I love, the color I love. I'm pretty certain that this yarn came from Suburban Stitcher. I'll double check, but or you can look at my Ravelry. I'll link them. Try to. I don't wear it that much because it's just so heavy. Now, this next one fits me so good. I just wish it didn't have the mohair. And this is, I don't even know what yarn I used. I'm trying to think. Along avec Anna in her merino and her mohair, I'm pretty certain. But this, it's the ranunculus. In case you didn't know, couldn't tell. It's not my only ranunculus by far. I think that the ranunculus is really easily modifiable at different gauges, and once made, fits the body very nicely. It's comfortable to wear. Do I like making the lace at the top of the ranunculus? No, I do not. I absolutely do not like making those stitches in any way, shape, or form. However, the design, the shaping and function of the sweater fits very well. This is not, it's being repaired, but it's also ranunculus. I added lace at the bottom. This sweater I made for my sister-in-law. It got a hole in the sleeve. Something cut the yarn, so I'm trying to repair it. But I don't have any more of that specific yarn, so it's proven to be a little bit of a challenge. But I do like making the ranunculus. The one I made for her was knit on with a 24 stitch gauge. Or just change the cast on not the cast on, but the increases. I just went up sizes to accommodate using a smaller gauge, and I think I started with a larger neckband because it was such a small gauge. This is a pattern by she's in Bermuda. I guess I'll put it here because Falling Leaves, super fun to knit. Again, it has mohair. I love this color. This is my favorite color. This is my favorite color on the entire universe. This is my favorite color. This is the best green there will ever be. Anyway, but it has mohair. And mohair and heat are not good companions. So when it's lower than 70 degrees, I love that sweater, that top. If it's higher than 70 degrees, I have zero desire to wear it. Now, this next top I was super proud of making, and I'm still proud of making. I don't wear it a lot. I don't wear it a lot because it's really heavy. And if I had more yarn, I would have made sleeves, but I didn't. So I didn't. But I want to show you what I'm most proud of. So this is my broadleaf. And what I'm most proud of is that the way that I seamed the two panels together, I can wear it as this is the outside and this is the back, or the other way around, whichever one I feel like. And because I didn't like how the broadleaf went together, I added shoulder panels when I seam them together. Instead of seaming them, I knit across and joined as I go. And in doing that, I realized that I would prefer to have the bottom that way, so I did the same thing for the bottom of the sweater. And I love how it fits, and I love how it looks. The only problem is AC needs to be at 70 or lower. If it's above 70 degrees, this is not wearable. It is so heavy because it's double layer. It's just heavy. The yarn I used were singles, also not my favorite. So I'm not saying that you can't use a single to make a garment, because clearly you can. I'm just saying that in the future, in the other sweater that had the singles, it was these colors, and these are definitely Madeline Tosh. So, my last short sleeve that is one of my favorite sweaters I've ever made, and if I had the yarn, it would be a long sleeve sweater, because boy howdy is it heavy, and boy howdy is it warm. But being short sleeve means that I can wear it under a jacket if it's really cold. I will be warm. I will stay warm. There is no cold gonna get through. Now,
Tartaletta.
this sweater has some really cool features. So first of all, this neckband, and I used it also. Did I use it on this? Yes, I did. So it's also where I bound off or did my ribbing for my sleeves, and it's my neckband. This neckband is musk ox, 100% musk ox. Not cheap. It was a gift from someone, and I had 40 grams, I think. And there was just enough to eke out this neck, and then use the last bits to put ribbing on my sleeves. And I think it's perfect because on the most sensitive part of your body, I have the softest yarn I have ever owned and will ever own. And I'm very happy about that. Additionally, so this yarn is merino nylon, and it's from Suburban Stitcher. I cannot think of her colorway. And this is the same colorway, but this is fingering weight held double, and this is fingering weight slub held with mohair. So, it's the Oslo colorways. And then this is Ted Knits UK. This comes in those little from the Modern Skein, and it comes from Denmark. Sunday, I think. Not double Sunday, but Sunday. Sandyscorn Sunday. And then Hugh Loco. Urban Girl Yarns. Again, same as the pink. Cannot think of that. It's gonna be throughout this thing. Can't think of it. Stranded Dye Works. Same. That's Red Rocks, or pretty sure Red Rocks. This and this are the same, and they are Peary. Brooklyn Tweed Peary. And then this is Stephanie. Stephanie, what is your yarn company? She makes the greatest Doctor Who inspired spinning fiber in yarn. I cannot think of it. Anyway, and then the last one is, this one is definitely Barnyard Knits. And the black at the bottom, I honestly think it might have been like Knit Picks, but it was definitely something from my stash, so I'm not certain. Anyway, this was a test knit. It was a test knit for Samba Knits, and it was her pattern. I'm gonna put it here. Why am I struggling, y'all? I just don't understand. Anyway, this is the best striped sweater you will ever find. Why? When you do a circular yoke and you have stripes, most designers put all of the short rows in this first section, and there is a sharp difference between these stripes and these stripes. And in this sweater, there are not. There are differences, but the proportions remain the same. Each section has, anyway, it's just brilliant. If you get a chance and you like making stripes, and you can adjust it, you can, because I've done it, you can use fingering weight, you can use lace weight, you could, depending on your size, maybe even use I don't know why you would want to, but bookie weight yarn. You could use unspun yarn. If you want to use your leftovers, or if you want to use all kinds of different yarns because you have bits and bobs and whatever, this is it. This is it. It's just bloody brilliant and fits like a glove. I just can't wear it in the heat because it's figure weight held double. It's hot. It's really hot. My next top is a love note. This is at gauge. This is using Suburban Stitcher, Merino, and Suburban Stitchers. Mohair, silk mohair.
Why it needs a dress. It's just
yellow is not my favorite color. I don't think I look good in yellow. I don't think it's
cute.
But it's a very light color, and I have dresses that really go well. It's the only way I'll wear it. I am not wearing this with the bra and nothing. That's not going to happen. And I don't live in a climate where you can wear this and put a tank top underneath it or a camisole underneath it and not want to die. Unless it's the dead of winter. And if it's the dead of winter, this is too freaking open and airy and, you know. So, do I wear this? Yes, I do. Do I wear it a lot? No, I do not. I will say, because it's knit at such a loose gauge, the pills are excess. I'm like all the time. I have to depill this. If I wear it once, it needs a depilling just from one wear. This one, I made it cropped. It's also was a love note with no lace. I did make it cropped because I ran out of yarn. This yarn is I think I'm 100% certain. This is from I can see her Christina Chelsea Lux yarns, and I loved it. I absolutely love it. But again, it's mohair and it's silk and it's warm, and so it is a cold weather garment, not a warm weather garment, which is pretty much all we have left. This next garment is one of my more recent finished objects. I love this. I modified heavily the pattern, but this is Stephanie Jappel. She has a pattern called the Tubular Tank knit long sleeves, and this bad boy has some warmth to it. It is made out of a DK weight yarn. It's one of the few, I have a couple, but it's one of the few sweaters that actually is made completely out of DK weight yarn that I own, that I have made. And this, I believe, is the only other one I have. And this is the same sweater as the brown one, but I'm pretty sure this is the second one I made. The first one was the brown one, and then I made this one. But it could be the other, I don't know. I love them both. The best part of this is that it's also a pride project. The blue that is the stripes, as well as this color, this color, this color, this color, this color, this color, and this color. It badly needs depilled. Look at that. Look at that pilling. Oof. I need to do some pilling work. Depilling. All those colors are all from Urban Girl Yarns. And so it's kind of cool because it's just cool. And the only yarn, this green right here is from Leading Men Fiber Arts, and this color right here is from Lola Bean Yarn Company. And these yarns, with the exception of the last two, the Lola Bean and the Leading Men, I got every bit of this yarn at Maryland Sheep and Wool. So it is my Maryland Sheep and Wool sweater, or a sweater made out of all yarns purchased at or given to me while I was at Maryland Sheep and Wool, which makes me very happy. It is very, very warm. Only wear it in the winter. Alright, this next sweater I'm certain started from a pattern by Joji that completely stopped happening, and I have no idea what I did, but I just went off and did my own thing and then forgot what the hell pattern I was using. That happens all the time. This is made with fingering weight, held with mohair. It has the like balloon sleeves where no decreases, just a very sharp decrease at the cuff. It has lace at the bottom of the sweater. It has some lace at the top, but not much. It's the weirdest garment. I love the color. If I'm gonna wear red, it needs to be this red. If it's not this red, I'm not interested as a general rule. This is my favorite red. And I don't even know if it's coming out. Yeah, I think it is. But it needs to be a bluey red. If it's not a bluey red, not my thing. Anyway, it's warm. It's really warm. If it's not cool enough, this is too warm. But if it's cold, it is not warm enough. So it's like one of those I guess what I'm saying is that I have learned that for me, as a general rule, mohair isn't it. Yeah, it's just not it for me anymore. This garment also is a mohair and fingering weight held double. Again, I'm not going to use mohair ever again, I don't think. But this is like a love note, but it's called the Hush sweater. The cables are not difficult. It's a beautiful sweater. I don't wear it very often because the mohair that's in this is uber itchy scratchy. It was mohair that I tried that came from Hobbii, and I'm not judging Hobbii in any way, but this requires a turtleneck underneath it. It literally, you need something all the way up here that doesn't allow any of this to touch your skin. And I can wear non-superwash all day long. I'm wearing Holst with no issues whatsoever. I can't do it. And the thing is that this is Holst, but it's held with this mohair that is just brutal. Alright, my last mohair project is not itchy in any way. It has been modified since I first made it, and I'll explain, but it's very warm. This was the warmest garment that I owned. This is also a ranunculus, whether it looks like it or not. It is a ranunculus. The modifications that I made is after wearing it for a while, I felt that the neckband was stretching too much. I didn't have any more of the yarn that I used to make the sweater, but I did have this yarn. And so what I did is I picked up on the neck and I added ribbing. And just by picking up those stitches, it adds structure because it gives you a seam there. And then, because the arms stopped here, because I ran out of yarn, it was super warm, but then if I went walking or anything, my arms got cold. So, I literally added ribbing, and now it fits perfectly. It's not the original color, but I think it goes really well with the original color. Again, I love this color of green. It's almost perfect. It's not perfect, but it's almost perfect. The yarn was dyed by me. The mohair was not. The mohair in this project is from Leading Men Fiber Arts, and it's kind of a big deal, or I'm kind of a big deal. I think I'm kind of a big deal, or maybe just kind of a big deal. Whatever. And I don't mean dill, like a dill pickle. And my favorite color of any yarn from any dyer, period, is Leading Men Fiber Arts. Kind of a big deal. I don't wear this when it's warm, obviously, but it is probably my go-to number one sweater in the winter. However, the purple sweater that I just finished, I haven't been able to wear it yet because, like, for a whole day, because to try it on, yes, but wear it, no. Hasn't been cold enough. So that may become one of them. And I had the Laurel sweater, the red one, completed, but decided to make modifications to it. So it is still being worked on. So that sweater, those two may become more of go-tos in the future. I don't know. I do have one more to talk about, but I didn't make it. So one sec. This is my last top to discuss that's completed. I have others that are in progress, but they're not done. So, I have done two more. This one is from Tania. Y'all may know her from the Breakfast Crew podcast. If you haven't gone to see her, she's a hoot. Her and her daughter are just adorable. I love this. I have some yarn that I may use to add to it, just to bring the neckband in. I wear this at home, but I've learned because of this, I have learned that crochet garments are heavy. I mean, heavy. It's a granny stripe sweater. It is 100% hedgehog fibers in 5 different colorways. And I love it. I love it a lot. But it's heavy. It is like, if you need a weighted blanket so that you can feel better, this will do. Really, and it's fingering weight. So I can't even fathom trying to wear a worsted weight. Oh, and I wear it and I don't care. I told her she didn't need to weave in the ends, that I would weave them in. And clearly it hasn't become a priority for me. All right, last one. This is my absolute most proud sweater. To some people it may be no big deal, but for me, this was something in my brain I wanted to do, and I just did it. no pattern, just did it. Now, this was made bottom up. This was made using a pattern for the construction of the garment, but not for any of the colors that are used or any of the, anyway. So any intarsia that's involved, any striping, anything like that was all me in my mind before I knew how to really do intarsia, but I still made it work, and I'm very, very proud of myself. This is the pattern by Joji Locatelli that is the worsted version of the boxy. This is the front, and this is the back, and then this is the sleeves. Now, I'm going to try to describe. I gotta get in the right place. So, down here, this is the creek, and this is the bank where there's lots more lush and green, and this is further away from the bank, and this is the rocks, and this is a rocky structure. This is a mountain in the background, and and sky. The only thing that frustrated me about this garment is not being able to find a better blue for the sky. I wish, and still have not found. So hey, if you know of any, but this was just something that there's just something that I miss the Rockies. I miss the mountains. I miss the wide open spaces. And this was me remembering where I grew up. And it is quite warm. The sleeves are kind of short. They're not all the way down. A lot of my scraps for my stripe, for my rainbow, they came from this garment because I used a lot of different yarns to make this happen, and I did so happily. Everything is held double. However, there are sections where, like in here, let's see if I can, for my mountain, this is one yarn held double, but this is this yarn held with a different yarn double here, and then over here it's a totally different yarn that's held with this yarn and this yarn. And so, and then in here I snuck in completely different colorway, and here as well, trying to make it look like it was a section of wildflowers. And then same with down here, I added some wildflowers in with, anyway, if you can't tell, it's my favorite. In fact, maybe I should make this my, oh, well, let's do the back because they have the mountain and we love the mountain. Maybe it should be this picture, right? Who knows what I'll decide. Maybe I'll let YouTube decide. But I have a lot of trying on to do to add to edit this, but I might do this in two separate, we'll see. You'll be editing how, but I hope you found something useful. If you have any questions about any of the garments, about how I made my modifications, how I took things out and added, just ask. Feel free. Yeah. Bye.